Hey guys, YouTube isn't pushing my videos right now. A like and any comment would really help. Thanks. Ethan rolled over to a scattershot galaxy of freckles and warm lips brushing his shoulder. His wife, Rachel, was perched beside him, hair still pillow mussed, eyes crinkled in that, "You're my favorite human" sort of way. "Morning, sleepyhead," she whispered. "Didn't mean to wake you, but you look too cute not to steal a kiss." Ethan stretched lazily, corralled her into a hug, and remembered the day's to-do list. Sunrise ride to the Amtrak station, sprint to the office, then beers with the guys after work. Rachel, meanwhile, was catching a train to Brighton, just the next state over, for a 3-day sales summit. Nothing epic, but Ethan hated goodbyes, even when they were bite-sized. "Run the schedule by me again," he mumbled into her hair. "Meet and greet tonight, keynote tomorrow, breakout sessions the day after, then home," she said, shoving one last pair of heels into a suitcase that already wheezed at the zipper. He watched her wrestle the lid shut and felt a sharp jab of missing her. Even before she'd left the driveway. "Promise to text me every boring detail." "You know me, oversharer extraordinaire," he said. She winked, slung the suitcase off the bed, and 2 hours later, they were hugging on the chilly platform. The rest of Ethan's day snapped by like Polaroids. Spreadsheet triage, Slack pings, drive-through tacos inhaled at his desk. Meanwhile, Rachel's messages ping-ponged across his screen. A selfie in the train window, the downtown skyline of Brighton, her hotel lobby chandelier, lunch with coworkers, fish tacos. 7 out of 10. But the salsa slaps. It almost felt like he was tucked in her carry-on. At dusk, Ethan headed to the Poorhouse, a brick-walled craft beer joint, to meet his perpetually single, whipped bro buddies Tyler, Logan, and Mike. They traded bro hugs. Mike ribbed him first. "Man's got 60 hours of hall pass and shows up in a cardigan like he's headed to PDA." Ethan smirked but kept glancing at his phone. Rachel had just texted. "Back at the hotel, wiped out, crashing early. Turning my phone off. Love you to the moon." He thumbed a goodnight gift. He tried to vibe with the guys, but the bar's buzz felt off. 15 minutes and half a warm lager later he blurted, "You know what? I'm going to surprise her. It's only a 2-hour drive." Logan facepalmed. "Bro, you're a Disney character." "Better than being a troll," Ethan shot back, already summoning an Uber to fetch his truck. The interstate was ghost quiet, moonlight skipping off the asphalt. He cranked Springsteen windows down and made Brighton in record time. GPS led him to the Riverside Grand, 5 stars of marble and valet parking. Inside, the night shift concierge wore a toothpaste commercial smile. "Evening. How can I help?" her badge read. "Tara, I'm surprising my wife. She should be in room 278. Rachel Miller." Tara tapped keys, eyebrow slowly rising. "I'm sorry, sir, but that room's registered to a Gary Thompson, and we don't have a Miller on file tonight." The lobby tilted. Ethan pressed both palms to the desk. "Can you check again? Maybe under her company, Blue Peak." Tara checked, shook her head. Sympathy slid across her face like a curtain. "Nothing, sir. Maybe she's at the Brighton Plaza. Folks mix us up." Outside, Ethan gulped night air like water. Calls to Rachel rolled to voicemail. He almost started the truck when a long-buried memory surfaced. 2 Christmases ago, he'd installed a Find My Phone app on her new iPhone in case she ever lost it. Hands shaking, he queued up the tracker. A blinking dot materialized 6 blocks away. Pulse nightclub. $5 to the bouncer. Neon strobes. A bass line that rattled his ribs. Bodies pressed. Glitter flew. He scanned the bar, and there she was. Rachel's coral dress glowed under black light. One strap had slipped off her shoulder. She was perched on the bar itself, legs parted just enough for the guy seated on a stool between them to graze her thighs while she laughed into his ear. Then she kissed him, slow, hungry, oblivious to everything but the music in his hands. Heat surged behind Ethan's eyes. When she finally looked up, their gazes locked across a sea of strangers. Guilt tagged her features, mascara already smudging with tears. "Ethan," she half whispered, half sobbed his name. Hopping down, adjusting her strap like that fixed anything, he backed away, shaking. "Why?" The word shredded in the club noise. Without waiting for an answer, he turned, shouldered through the crowd, and was gone. He drove home on autopilot, speedometer flirting with felony numbers, playlists blaring anything angry. Dawn found him packing every scrap of her life. Jackets he'd bought her, framed beach photos, a joint Costco blender, tossed into Home Depot boxes. He labeled each one TR in Sharpie. When he lugged the first box downstairs, Rachel was on the stoop, puffy-eyed, gripping a tote bag. At the curb idled the guy from the club, arms draped over the steering wheel like he owned Tuesday. Ethan set the box on the pavement, flung open the flaps, and let gravity handle the rest. Satin lingerie fluttered onto the sidewalk. "Collect your junk," he said, voice ice steady, "and disappear." He shut the door on her sobs and sank to the floor, chest hollow but strangely light. Weeks blurred, papers filed, rings pawned. Ethan tried therapy, tried bourbon, finally tried journaling because the therapist said, bleed on the page or bleed in real life. He filled 2 notebooks in a month, rage, grief, random grocery lists, all inked in the same shaky cursive he'd learned from his grandma. He also rescued a mutt from the shelter, brown lopsided ears, a tail that swept magazines off the coffee table, and named him Rocket, because the dog launched across rooms when called. Rocket forced Ethan outside. Sunrise walks smelled like wet cedar and new starts. Neighbors waved. One elderly lady pressed fresh banana bread into his hands and said, "Good boys deserve carbs." Slowly, the static in Ethan's head quieted. He painted the bedroom a hopeful pale green, replaced the double bed with a roomy queen, just for me, and strung fairy lights over the balcony so evenings hummed instead of haunted. Rachel and Brandon lasted exactly 6 months. The Instagram honeymoon ended when Brandon's sales commissions tanked, and his temper surfaced faster than his paycheck. Dishes smashed, doors slammed, apologies arrived with gas station flowers, but no real change. By fall, Brandon's "You're lucky I'm still here" became fists through drywall. Then fists through Rachel's sense of self. One night, the neighbors called 911. Flashing red and blue sliced the living room. Brandon spent a single night in county lockup, bonded out by morning, and left, taking the TV, the router, and the cat they'd adopted on a tipsy whim. Rachel found herself in an ER cubicle, left wrist splinted, mascara streaks mingling with iodine. Her parents drove 3 hours to collect her, and the few belongings that fit in a laundry basket. Back in her childhood bedroom, Rachel finally opened the box of wedding keepsakes she'd pretended to misplace. Vows written on craft paper cards, the pressed sunflower from Ethan's binder, a photo booth strip where they'd both made fish faces. She cried until the corners of the pictures blurred. She drafted apology texts to Ethan, deleted them, wrote again, long paragraphs about shame and therapy. "I ruined the best thing I ever had." The cursor blinked like a heartbeat, but she never hit send. Some things, she decided, you atone for quietly. By volunteering at the women's shelter, by finishing the counseling homework even after it hurts, by learning to sit in silence without reaching for a distraction. Meanwhile, Ethan thrived in unexpected ways. He and Rocket trained for a 5K. Well, Rocket sprinted and Ethan lumbered, but they crossed the finish line to a stranger's high five and a medal shaped like a paw print. He made new friends at a Thursday night trivia league, discovered he was shockingly good at 1990s song lyrics, and even flirted clumsily with a librarian who suggested a sci-fi novel that totally passed the Bechdel test. Some nights he still wakes at 2 a.m., reaching for a ghost, but he breathes, pats the dog, and reminds himself that certain endings are a gift wrapped in barbed wire. Because surprises are only magic when both hearts are invited. And if someone ever asks you to dim your light, let them walk, because the right person will bring extra bulbs.